Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I want to show you how to make this perfect v-neck on your senator outfit. Alright, so it's very easy and simple. Now let's just get into it. Alright, so first of all you are going to cut it like the regular senator. So you are going to be at this point, just the normal way you cut your normal senator neck and the rest of them. So once that you are at this point now, I'm trying to confirm the measurement of the shoulder that I'm working with. Okay, so I want the folding to be 1 inches. Alright, so I want it to be 1 inches. Then the length, or should I say the depth of the cuff, is going to be 9 inches. Okay, so this is 9 inches, measuring from the shoulder as you can see in the video. Now I'm going to mark 9 inches here. I'm going to mark 9 inches as you can see. You notice that I've also marked the 1 inches on the shoulder, so it is going to be depth of 9 inches. Now we are going to make a straight line from that point to where you are going to mark. You understand? Just as you can see in this video, easy and simple. This is the 1 inches I told you earlier. Now I'm also going to mark half inches. Now this half inches is going to be the sewing allowance. This half inches is going to be the sewing allowance that will be using to do the stitching of the v-neck. I hope you understand. Yeah, so at this point, this is the actual depth and this other one is what we are going to fold as the sewing allowance. Now I'm going to cut from the first line that I marked. I'm trying to confirm that I'm not cutting the back as well. You understand? So cutting from the first line. And now because this v-neck is going to go through to the back, I'm also going to cut the back as well. You understand? There is this kind of designs that stops at the front, so this one goes through to the back. That's why I'm also going to cut the back as well. Hope you understand. So this is the second step. Now at this point now, this is where the work begins. You understand? So after the cutting, let's move into the next thing. At this point, you're going to add a hairstyle to the neck area. You understand? Just to make it have a little weight at the neck area. You understand? So this is a hairstyle, more like a light cloth gum. It's not as thick as the regular cloth gum. So I don't want it to be very thick, but I don't want it to be as light as the other parts of the body. You understand? So the hairstyle is the perfect for what I want to use it for. You understand? So I'm just going to be placing it around these particular areas now, as you can see in this video, just for the neck areas. Now this is going to be just for the front because I'm not going to be adding this hairstyle to the back. Reasons because the back is already doubled. Remember that you are adding a half back, so we don't need to add the hairstyle to the back. So this is going to be just for the front. You understand? So we are going to iron it down. Give it a thorough ironing, and here I'm sprinkling water to iron it. And then here we are done with the ironing. You can see that we are done with the ironing here, so we are just cutting off the extras on both sides. Okay, so now we are going to make a little notch at the center of this v-neck. Going to cut in a little at the center of the v-neck. Remember, you are going to fold it, so pay attention to what I'm going to do here. I'm cutting not deeper than ½ inch. It's not going to be deeper than ½ inch. You understand? Now this is the ½ inch that we are supposed to fold in. You understand? So that's what I'm cutting now, just very little. Now we are going to fold it this way. You understand? But before we do this way, we are going to join the back to the front as well, because you'll be folding both the front and the back together. So we are going to join the back to the front before we do the folding. You understand? So yeah, this is where we are now. The back has been joined together with the front, as you can see, well ironed and clean. So now we are going to do the folding at the front, at the neck rather, at the neck, around the neck. We are going to do it around the neck from this point where we made this notch around the neck. Alright, so we are going to do that quickly right away. Let me show you exactly what we are going to be doing. Alright, so folding it this way and iron it down around the neck, you understand? So give it a thorough ironing. You might even need to add a hemming gum to the neck just to get this perfect result. As you can see, the one I have here, you can see how ironed it is, looking very sharp and clean. Alright, so the next step now is to cut what we are using for the v-neck, understand? But before we do the cutting, we are going to measure around the neck. We are going to measure around the neck, starting from this point, okay, around the neck, the neck rather, as you can see in the video. So make sure that you are holding it perfectly. The way I'm doing in this video is the perfect way of measuring it round. You can see that we got 28.5 here, but we are going to extend it further to like 32 inches, understand? Because what we are using for the neck, it has to be more than the neck measurement, understand? So we are going to be using 32 inches or more. So what I have here is, I think 34 inches. As you can see, what I have is 34 inches. So we are going to fold it this way and iron it. I'll be adding a hemming gum in between it, just to make it look very flat and clean. Just as you can see in this video now, you can see how clean it is looking. So I added a hemming gum in between it and ironed it down. That's why it's looking this way. So now I'm going to mark out that 1 inches. Remember that I want my folding to be 1 inches. So I'm going to mark 1 inches across the material. So after you've done that, I'm going to use this rule to get a straight line. Now the purpose is just to identify the parts that I want to show and the part that will be inside, you understand? So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So I'm simply going to mark it. Alright, so now that we have achieved this and we have gotten to this point, you can see that the extras, after marking the 1 inch, the extras that is left is so much. So I'm just going to reduce it. I want to be left with just about half of an inch, you understand? So I'm just going to cut off all these extras, leaving half inch. Now the next part is like the most important part, you understand? But it is also easy as well. Now once we have done that, now we are now going to place it at the neck area, you understand? So spread it like this, as you can see in the video. Spread it like this, as you can see in the video, and then carefully place it behind. Now the chalk, the purpose of the line I marked is, that's exactly where the neck is going to be, just as you can see in the video. Then you just spin it around the neck, you understand? So you are placing it carefully and then pinning it with the office pin. I'm using an office pin to pin it down. Then, as you can see in the video, placing it carefully. Place it carefully, make sure it is straight and equal, and then you pin it. Now this process is we are going to do round the neck, you understand? Now with the help of the line that we marked on the material that we are using, it is going to be very easy to know where to place it before you put your office pin, you understand? So as you can see in the video, once you are aligning it together with the neck that we folded already, Once you are sure that it's straight, then you put your office pin. Now this is the process that I'm going to do around the fabric. Alright, so once you have gotten to this point, you can see what I'm going to be doing right here. Hope you can see that, and you see how we got this looking very sharp and clean. Also making sure that it's aligned and perfect, you understand. So at this point I'm going to be adding another pin here. Okay, so this is it, and this is what it's going to look like finally. Now I'm just simply trying to make sure that I got it right and everything is equal, you understand. So now we'll be going to the machine to run stitch on top of it. Okay, you can see how sharp it's looking already. So we are simply going to do the finishing part before we do the ironing. Alright, so now we are going to carefully run stitches on top of it, and this part is simple because with the help of the office pin it is very easy to do this at this point now, you understand. So carefully start at the edge, you understand. So while stitching it, once you get close to an office pin, you remove it and continue, you understand. Alright, so this process is simply what you're going to do around the fabric, carefully making sure that it's also straight and in the same line, you understand. So that's exactly how you're going to do it around the fabric. Hope you can see that. Alright, so we are done with that. Simply lock it. Always make sure that you lock your stitches, and then the next thing now is to do the weaving and iron it, and that's all, you understand. So if you were to this point, then let me know if you're going to try this v-neck or if you're not. Also comment in the comment section where you're watching from. Alright, so this is what it looks like before ironing and before weaving. So we are going to weave it and then iron it, you understand. You can equally do the weaving before joining the fabric, but anyway, any pattern you choose is acceptable as well. So let's quickly do that now and show you the final result. But also remember that what we use is longer than the neck, so we are simply going to cut off these extras from behind, you understand. It is better it's long than it is short, so you just cut off the extras and then weave it, and that's all. Alright, so this is the final look. See how clean and sharp it is looking, and see how easy it was to do this. Alright, so thanks for watching. Like, share and comment, and I'll see you on the next one.